There's no such thing as grown-ups.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age.
Because if you kill off Sean Austin, your television show is going to go into the toilet. Also, there's no such thing as grown-ups. There's no such thing as grown-ups.com. My name is Curtis.
And I'm Tara.
And this is this podcast show about the
And
pre-apocalypse.
this is it. This is the thing.
It's happening.
That's
You're
the
listening
thing that
to
everyone
it.
was talking about.
You were wondering, and now you're part of it.
We are a top podcast on podcastland.com this month. We are number 3.
Number 3 in all of the podcast land.
No.
Oh.
Well, in all of the society and culture section.
I mean, society and culture is a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
I kind of quit society
And we're
like every 2 or 3 days.
Number 9, I think, in comedy.
That's a top.
I don't know why people seem to think this is something funny about this. Surviving the apocalypse.
Just trying to help people live their lives properly and let them know that if you were thinking based on one other time when I'm like, oh my God, The Strain is such a great show, is what I thought as long as Sean Austin was on it. And spoiler alert, he's dead. And even though it's a vampire show, he came back and then he's dead again. So no more Sean Austins. And regardless, once he's not there for you to go like, all right, a lot of this is pretty crazy and dumb and these names are stupid and their acting is bad and everyone's clothes are beyond brand new. Like beyond brand new. There was a guy like broke out of jail, I think, wearing his like prison outfit still.
That's
and
because
it was
he just
like,
went to prison, so they give you the brand new ones, maybe.
That's what they do. To make you feel right at home in prison, they give you the nicest, newest, most like just fresh off the
that's true, so that they can tell you.
Machine.
That's kind of true, but
like that little boy, like his haircuts could not be any fresher, and his jean jacket could. I mean, he's a little boy. Show me a little boy. Put a jean jacket on any little boy, and that thing is going to look like a pretty worn out jean jacket, like within a day. And I mean, I just find it hard to believe everybody's new shirt, pants, haircut.
It is
jacket
hard to
day,
believe.
All at the same time.
But also there's vampires.
I honestly...
that are from worms.
When I said I liked the show,
Not
I had
sucking
no idea.
any blood.
I had no idea it
From
was
worms.
vampires. I had no idea. And now it's about vampires?
No, this show doesn't know what it wants to be.
I don't know what this show... I don't know what I want it to be. I was kind of liking it when
All
I
I
thought it was
know
whatever
is we're not
I thought it
learning
was.
anything about how to survive the fucking apocalypse from watching it.
Oh, God, no. Nobody's doing anything right. Ever.
But who wants to live in a world where Sean Austin
we'll be
dies?
right back after this phone call.
Hi, it's Mary calling. I'm already at the hospital. I don't know if you have an answer.
So anyway, yeah. I said The Strain was great, and thought maybe it would work into itself, and somehow it just keeps working itself into
more
a
and
hole.
more weird.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting more, like, they're actually even more so being like, vampires. Oh, it's vampires. Like, no, isn't it less vampires? Isn't it not vampires?
Isn't it aliens?
I don't know what it is anymore. I mean, in this last episode, the old guy in his flashback, it shows him like whatever, finding his wife and kids turned into these vampire alien things or whatever, this parasites inside of them, kills them, and then cuts out the parasite thing, and that's the thing he's been talking to in the jar the whole time, like, oh, I thought maybe, I don't know, they were friends, like maybe this thing was like Blade, like, hey, we both fought the monsters together, even though I was one, I knew that they were evil. And now
but also the hurt thing seemed to talk back to it.
Yeah.
Him.
So yeah, I thought
Or
also, yeah, like
him,
he had a bit
are
of
you hungry? Like,
yeah, like a Han Solo Chewbacca thing going on. I just don't know. Like, there's definitely a bit of a level of, like, I don't know, I want to say magic, or that, at least, like, Vampire Bill style psychokinesis, at least. Because, I mean, again, then when that other guy came in, like, oh, hey, Cedric, how you doing? Like, to the thing in the jar, or whatever he called it, Schenectady. And then it's like, I guess they're going to take that thing and put it in somebody else, because it's not your wife specifically. It's the thing that killed her and used her body. And then you're like, oh, well, goodbye, Margaret.
It
Goodbye.
remembers her, though.
I guess it remembers her, but wouldn't he remember her even better if he didn't have to look at this thing? It's just,
Maybe.
I don't know.
None of it makes sense.
None of it makes sense, and it just makes less sense.
Don't try
every
to make
minute.
sense out of it.
Even when they give themselves a chance to make it make any sense, they just don't. Oh, hey, here's a new character. He's dead. Here's a new character. He's not dead. Let's follow him around for a bit. Oh, he's dead. Wait, why did I just waste all the time? What's going on with the other
Stop
dumb
caring
people?
about characters.
I guess that's my problem. Is it's like a game show. Everything's a game show now. Who's
They're
going
just
to
trying
survive
to do
the
like
longest?
Lost, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Harry Potter, Blade
Yeah.
in one.
If we can get it all
Show.
wedged in, then we can enjoy it. And yeah, if Sean Austin's not going to stick around, then I don't know why we're here for these vampire things. Because
Sean Austin's not fucking sticking around. Fuck this shit.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm better than Sean Austin, but
equal,
I mean,
at least
I'm
equal.
at least as good as Sean Austin as a human being.
Are you at least as good as Sean Austin with or without his visor from
Harrison Bergeron.
Harrison Bergeron?
And I mean, I'm not talking Rudy. Like, I mean, nobody's a Rudy.
Oh, everybody's better than Rudy. Come on.
I was saying nobody's as great as Rudy, because, that's a lot of perseverance. Who's got that level of perseverance? He was barely even a Sean Austin back then. He was all Rudy. Now
I think he's all Rudy now.
I mean, if you got something like that to push you, why not get pushed by the greatest push ever, Rudy? That's the real circle of life.
You seem to get something out of that movie that I did not.
I honestly, my connection, everybody mentions Rudy, I think because everybody is into sports and all this stuff, even like Field of Dreams, like other than you watch that movie is like unwatchable because it is just like the saddest, like whatever. There's way too much baseball in it. Like, whenever the one time I did watch Field of Dreams, it was like, oh my God, like this is, a really effective movie. It's too bad there's so much, like, I want to just leave. Like, I really don't want to sit here. I don't care how much they're enjoying this baseball game. But, the ghosts and the friendship and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's really amazing stuff. Rudy, forever, I didn't see it. I don't think my friend John saw it, but he read...
How could you not see it? It was only on every Sunday.
This is when it first came out.
Ever.
When it was before it was just on every Sunday ever. When
was this?
Like it just comes
Before it was invented?
Well, before like when VHS was a thing. But yeah, like a movie would be in the theater, and then like I don't know,
that movie in the theater?
a year, yeah, and then like a year after it's in the theater, a movie would be like in the video store for a little while, and then like maybe a year after that it would be on TV. So in the stages where it was still like on the movie channels, and maybe you could rent it on VHS. I think my friend John had like they had the movie channel or something, so they had like the little book would come every month, would say like, hey, these are the movies that you could be watching on these nights.
You
and
could
whatever.
highlight and plan your month.
You could, put little stickers in there. You could do whatever you needed to do to make sure you watched
You knew what was
everything
coming.
to its fullest.
And then if you had plans, though, you were sad when you missed something.
Yeah, not anymore. Now you miss something. There's no such thing as missing anything. That's why people are so complacent, or not so complacent. Why they're so outraged at the simplest inconvenience.
Oh God.
But yeah, he read the synopsis, I guess, of Rudy. I think it was in this magazine. Like I think he specifically brought it to school. He's like, look at this, and it's like, what? He's like, Rudy, another true story of someone who beats the odds. which was, I don't know what was more funny about it was that it was, so vague, so specific, so like just nothing and everything, where it's just like another truth. Like it's not even the best or first, it's just another one of somebody who, probably Rudy, I don't know, maybe
I think
Rudy's
that's
friend.
a pretty accurate description of
Like,
that
I'm pretty sure I
movie.
thought that Rudy was like, it was like a Rudolph-based story or something, like, well, until, like, even reading this, like, so what? It's about, like, a
Isn't
reindeer?
it?
And I guess
They
it's
wouldn't
about a
let him
reindeer.
play
The
the
reindeer
football
game.
games.
So I know that I did eventually watch it, and it was sad, but in another way. Like, it's more funny from, like, when I try to picture it in my head, Rudy is pretty silly. Like, it's like, hey, I'm
Did you
going to
think
play.
that Sean Astin was just playing himself, though?
Yeah, that was one of the sad parts. There's a lot of times when we watched this comedy
He's
show.
supposed to be challenged, or what?
Yeah, like, I mean, that was,
Can't tell.
that's his
I
real
can't
face and
tell.
body. Like, I mean, that's what he really looks like. He's not a monster or anything, but he was, compared to all the cool, tough guys who were being the stars of sports movies back then, he was like a chubby little kid. Like, I mean, it just, it wasn't, you're not going to be the sports hero in this. If you are, then there's going to be a getting in shape montage as well, but there isn't. So you're going to have to be the Rudy. Like, I mean, you're not like the ripped up Hobbit in the Hobbit movie. You're Samwise, the chubby Hobbit friend. Like,
It's all
I'm
very
not-
sad.
yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway, the sad
about
lives of
Sean
Sean
For
Astin.
too long.
But yeah, so that's it. Like, when I finally did see it, I was like, oh, this is what this movie's about. Like, for my whole life, Rudy is another true story of someone who beats the odds. Like, because I mean, through school, like, John would always do that. Like, whatever would happen, he would like lean over and just be like, the teacher would say do, and then he'd finish off with another true story of someone who beats the odds, and trying not to laugh the rest of my life about it. So I mean, Rudy is this hilarious punchline in my life. But to other people, I think to most people, it's like
I
a
think
field
it's
of
a
dreams.
hilarious punch. What?
I think that people are like, yeah, like never give up, like
No,
Rudy.
it's just a
Rudy,
hilarious punchline.
Rudy.
It's a hilarious punchline in Sean Astin's life as well.
I think it's a turning point. I think it's a triumph in Sean Astin's life. I think that's his Shawshank Redemption.
I don't. What?
He waded through the shit
No,
and
friggin'
came out on top-ish.
The Hobbit or whatever is his. Not the Hobbit. The
The Lord of the
Lord
Dance.
of the Rings.
Yeah.
Is his Shawshank.
I guess that's his redemption, but his inciting moment, his call to arms, I think is Rudy. What did he do before Rudy? Nobody knows.
Wasn't he in the
Exactly. Herbie?
Goonies? Or
Goonies? Was he in Goonies? I think you're right. I believe you're... Was he?
Ghostbusters?
I think he was...
I think he was.
I think he was the
Bill
black guy.
Murray.
I think he was Ernie Hudson.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I know I
Ah.
was planning to segue that somewhere else, but
Oh.
it took way too much of a Sean Astin twist that I'm just...
Do the Sean Astin twist. Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on, baby.
I can't
Sean Astin twist. Ooh,
go into
baby.
that. Rape
Do
segue.
Sean Astin twist. What?
What did you have to talk about over there?
I was going to talk of my renewed love of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yoga is awesome. And I think that it's like you need it to survive the apocalypse. What's going to happen when you're like in your bunker? You're not going to be able to like do lifting weights or crazy cardio exercise. Number one, you're going to have to do yoga.
It's true.
Very good for saving on space. But I had like,
Yeah.
I did yoga for a really long time. But I started doing it, I guess, like getting these videos, and it was more about fitness.
Yeah.
So then this is the real story or whatever, is that like the Wii made me love yoga again, but not in the way that you would think.
Oh, God.
Not because Wii yoga is fucking awesome or anything, but I got Wii yoga. I thought it was going to be awesome. So I started playing it. Wii Yoga is just the stupidest fucking waste of $9.99 that I ever spent on Amazon ever.
It gets pretty boring pretty fast.
Well, it's just like one exercise, and then you have to like click, like, it's just too.
Yeah, it's a
Too
whole
much.
lot of just basically.
It's not really what
Yeah,
yoga is about.
It's really, like that's a game of trying to not jiggle yourself in any way, shape, or form while on a board that's measuring. Like, it's the same as like holding your phone and not trying to, have the accelerometer actuate and move or whatever. It's all just, which I mean, people think that it's like yoga isn't just like balancing, it's increasing your balance with exercises and all that stuff. Like, but the Wii makes it seem like just balance as best you can.
The other thing
and
is
you're the
that
best
I was
yoga
always
guy.
trying to like do yoga for like as a workout.
Yeah.
When really what it's for is for relaxation. And just benefits of yoga are that you can lose weight and you can increase your strength and like your muscles and all this stuff. But like that's not the purpose of it.
No.
And if you focus on that as the purpose, like I think you're fucking doing it wrong, I guess. Now
Well, that's why everybody is so stressed out about everything always. Everybody's doing everything for the wrong reasons, which means you're doing it wrong. Like you're going to work for the wrong reasons. You're walking your dog for the wrong reasons, or you have a dog and you're not walking it, which means you have a dog for the wrong reasons, or you're going to dog shows like we went to the other day and talked about in the last episode, which means you definitely have a dog for the wrong reasons, or whatever. Like again, like just looking at people sitting in their cars trying to go home, like, oh well, you don't have a car to get
posing
to and
for their
from
Al-Anon
videos.
billboards.
But so like yoga is it's a great way to like stretch out. And, like, just, I mean, the days I don't do it, and I don't do, like, you'll go in there for, like, 4 hours or whatever and do all these different crazy yoga things for purpose or whatever up until recently, like, specifics, whereas I just took a handful of the yoga you used to do and took the parts that I liked that is just like, well, these make me feel like I'm getting a little bit of exercise and I'm stretching stuff out and doing this and add a little bit of this and that. And, whatever, like, if I do it, I feel great, and if I don't feel terrible. But then when I do like a simple little like whatever activity, let's say, because I'm like over 30 years old, you can you start to feel like, oh well, this is what happens when you don't do things. Like again, when you're younger, you inadvertently exercise. You don't realize, you don't think about it. Like people, when
Because you're poor, you have to walk everywhere.
well, there's that, but even when I was like 20, my boss was 30, and he was like, "Oh, when you're my age, you'll understand. Like, you don't seem that much older than me, guy. Like, this doesn't make any sense." He's like, "No," but he's like, "I used to have crazy metabolism," and it's like, yeah, well, I have crazy metabolism, and I still do because I move around. Like, and I've talked about this before. It's like, oh, well, you used to move around because it was like, hey, trying to go from woman to woman to like, do you want to date me? Do you want to date me? Hey, can I have a job here? Can I have a job here? Can I play guitar here? Can I play guitar here? Like, and now it's like you got yourself an office, you got yourself a home, you're settled down. You don't need to bounce around to try and figure out who you are. You're not constantly nervous about who you are or who everybody is around you. The more settled people get, the more they settle, and settling is like dough oozing into a chair. Like you form into whatever that shape. And I mean, even during that time, for as many years as I can or could at that studio, like I took the stairs all the time. I still don't trust elevators anyway, but I don't, really have that much of an option. But
Stairs are better
here at the house, like, if I got to go downstairs or something, I usually do it instead of doing the thing that, when I didn't do yoga,
instead of taking the elevator.
I could have, just not doing anything, going, screw it. I just won't get up and get some water. I'll just dehydrate and not get exercise. But, using your muscles a little bit, or, not even using your muscles, using like body parts, like, moving your arm in like a circle above your head, and
Even
not
like you just don't care.
Yeah, like just being able to do that, whereas you can, I don't know, I live in a world where I do see people that turns out are only my age, if not younger, and they clearly don't normally lift their elbows up. Like they don't move their arm up using their shoulder. Like they only lift from the elbow down, and even then they still like bring their head down really far and sip from a straw from whatever it is they're drinking
Oh my God,
or
they got
eating.
T-Rex syndrome.
And yeah, they're like, there's a bunch of people that are walking around like T-Rexes, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I kind of feel like a bit of a superhero sometimes because I'm like reaching over and like picking things up and moving. I'm not like a super tough guy. I'm not sitting here like I am like ripped up and shredded and just covered in muscles and I can lift up 100 pounds above my head like it was no big deal. Like, no, I can't. Like, I'm not, like, I'm just saying I can still move like I was 28 or 24 or, you know, or even, you know, late 21s. Like, I just like because I don't know, I still moved around then, and I felt like when I was that age, most people were starting to try to find a way to settle into whatever it is, into this comfort. Like there's so many people into their chair that the ones who haven't become crazy MMA enthusiasts that just work out all the time and are just, they really are just covered in crazy muscles and they're scary. A lot of people, you know, that I grew up with, actually not even grew up with, a lot of like just younger people from now. Like this is, I don't know, I'm actually finally old enough to see people that were younger that are like, oh, you're a bit older now. And it's like, oh, within the last like 4 or 5 years since I've known you, you've become like an adult, but like a real adult, one of like the doughy ones that looks like they hate their lives. And I'm like, I never thought, but so recently you were like full of life, like, yeah, I'm gonna be something, I'm doing things.
What happened? No
and
yoga.
What happened? And no yoga or whatever. Like
that's what happened.
And I'm not like, I think based on like the yoga you do now, that it is all about like actually just kind of being a person and having this being part of your life and being interested by it, and that's why you do it, and because it's good for you. And we all need something like that. If it is like just taking your dog for a walk,
it makes you feel awesome.
And then yeah, you'd be surprised when your circulation actually works in your body. You feel like your body actually works. Like when
I always have had like back pain, and I just did yoga for back, all this shit or whatever, all the time. So I was always like looking for specific back ones, or I'd do like yoga for running and all this. And there's a lot of like very strenuous, like difficult yoga poses and things. I like to challenge myself, and it was more like the way I guess I treat other things like competitive yoga.
Yes, you're
like
trying
I'm
to win yoga.
Gonna win
even
yoga.
though you're the only one in the room with a video with a very nice lady just trying to give you helpful ideas on how to make you feel better. You're trying to beat her.
Yes.
At her own game, which she's not there to play. It's just a digital video
I
disc.
can win. I know I can do it.
A VHS tape.
So the yoga I do now, well, the reason that I was sitting there doing the Wii stuff, and the new Wii yoga that I got, it's not on the board or anything. It was just like going through, and it was just like, all right, sit there and do this pose, like just for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh my God, like, okay, like what's the next pose? But I just kept checking, like if they moved or did something, because also they would like, the character, the 3D character would move, but there wasn't anything that says anything, and there's no noise, so you can't hear anything either. So you're just like sitting there doing a pose. Like usually I would just do stuff with my eyes closed mostly, because they'll say like, you know, any other kind of guided yoga will say what they're doing at the same time as they're doing it, because you're doing it. And sometimes your like head is whatever, like between your legs and up your ass and fucking whatever here and there, and you can't like be looking at the screen the whole time. So anyways, I'm laying there, and then I was just like, oh, this pose is a really long time, but I didn't realize that the thing was actually moving. But I just didn't know, so I was just like laying the pose like way too long. But I was like, this is amazing. So then as I was sitting there, like I began to like just contemplate yoga, like I guess as a practice. Yeah, I guess. Like I hate to use those words because like it's so much more meaningful to me now, because like that's what the yoga always said. So it's like, I just thought of it more as not a way to an end, not a means to an end, but a means
Yeah.
to a means. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The means. Then you get into it. You like the newspaper, like a warm bath.
Yeah.
The medium is the message. The medium is the message. So I found this other yoga, and I think it's called Yoga Yak. There's a bunch of free ones, but you could also like sign up if you wanted. But she is a doctor, and she does yoga like there's a whole bunch of different ones, and you can do, I think, as like yoga practice as like for fitness or more like of a more strenuous,
more specific
whatever.
things, yeah.
But the ones that I would have been picking are just to relax, just to fucking relax. And you can just do these things where you're just holding the poses for a long time and stretching, and you just end up feeling great. And I don't understand how I could have not done this before because it feels so good now, I guess. It's really weird.
Well, that's why everything we do is a practice. Like anybody that goes to work and is like, oh, I'm going to my job and I'm doing my job and I work. If that's what you do, then you're
I bet
just...
there's yoga for work. There's like yoga for everything. There's like yoga if you have a headache. There's yoga for that. There's like yoga for your brain. There's like yoga for your eyes. There's like yoga for your face. Yoga for your whatever, like any part of your body as well. But also like yoga for your mind. And I think that's the main part that yoga is for, which it is your mind. But you just get to it through the physical means and all of that, because you have to get to that meditative, relaxed state.
Yeah, well, we're just so in tune with everything around, or not even in tune. We're so connected to everything around us already, like just walking from point A to point B. We don't just think, oh, I'm just going to walk over to this other side of the room. We think about all the other times we've had to do that. Why do I have to do this again?
Oh, yeah. That was
blah, blah,
one
blah.
of the things that
So
she was talking about. That
we
was
just
amazing.
compile all the stuff. And yeah, like just once you have to like a horse or whatever, you got to break down your body. You got to like forget that you're there, and then you can start being
okay,
there
so yeah,
again.
this was the main thing that I wanted
Whatever.
to talk about in terms of like the teaching for this, for our podcast, was that from the yoga, I learned like two super simple things that I like already knew, but I just never articulated before. When I did yoga in the past, I always had like different videos or whatever, and then I do these same videos. But I like to follow instructions only that I trust, though. So sometimes if I don't trust that these instructions are going to lead me to
Please
where I
do
want
not
to
insert
go,
a paradox into the machine.
I don't want to
please.
follow them, right? So sometimes there'd be tapes, and I'd be like, oh, well, unless I know what's on the tape, I don't want to do it, I guess. Unless I know what's on the video, I don't want to do it. So
I want something new, but I want to already have seen it first.
Right. But this one is awesome because I already know that I like her, so I can just trust that I'm going to like any of these videos. So it's great. So that's a great part. So one of the things that I learned was that as she's just going, and if you're just following instructions like without thinking, that it is super fucking meditative, and it's also really fun if you can just like trust it.
Yeah.
And that's also true for art. Like if you just follow the instructions for whatever it is, like it could be a teacher's instructions, or it could just be like how to do this type of art. It will be easy. You'll do something, and the time will pass by really quickly, and it'll, like, I just find that makes it's fun when you can have time that passes and you just don't even realize it's passing by.
Well, one of the sickest twists about life is that, like, we are just here to spend time, but so often we kind of trick ourselves into just enduring time when it's just like you could, again, like we live in the time right now where if you are so inclined, and people seem to all have them no matter what how, if you're the craziest old lady that would never touch a computer, you've got a computer in your pocket and you can just play games. You can read anything. You can read people's,
I've got a computer
weird little
in my
thoughts.
pocket.
And there's tons of stuff that is like just like that. Like you could do yoga and enjoy that every day, or you could, read some Facebook and enjoy that every day. If you find yourself reading Facebook and it makes you tense and angry, then you'd probably rather do some yoga, and then you'll find that you have your own Facebook in your own head that helps you kind of extrapolate on your own thoughts before you run to Facebook and write, did my laundry again. Yeah, guess what? Nobody cares. That's boring. Make it funny, make it interesting, or don't bother. Like, I just...
It's also, too, like, it's almost to the point now, too, where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this anymore because my mind will become so blank that... And you know what happens when your mind becomes blank? Things fucking pop into it.
Yeah.
They'll fill in because your mind is nice and blank, and then what do? Pop! Woo, there's space in there. Woo, let's jump in.
What's weird about me
so you just end up getting like so many ideas.
Yeah, like the more I need to do yoga is when I'm really busy and I'm trying to work on something that I've never done before, trying to learn new things or whatever. But I can't because exactly that. Like as soon as I end up laying on the floor, then it's like, oh, you know what would be a better idea to work on than any of this? I've got 9 of them, and then I'll write them down like laying on the floor, and then it's just like, well, now when I get back to whatever I'm supposed to or whatever my other idea was,
shut down.
Yeah, so there is no real shutdown. So it is like again, like I've learned to not even have to make those projects as long as I have the time to finish that thought. If I can sit there and really just go through it until it's like,
just have a brain project.
Oh, and that's how that movie ends. That was pretty fun. Maybe I'll tell somebody about it some way in the future by either making it a movie or drawing a picture of it, or I'll just tell Tara, hey, I had this idea. Anyway, if you feel like doing it, do it. I don't care anymore. I already watched that movie. Again, just like
too bad we can't be like someone just pay you for your ideas.
Yeah, like that's always what I find is so, I don't know, really funny. Like that's always the dream. Like everybody is sitting around wishing, like, hey, I got great ideas. Like I don't know how many people have told me that. Like you have like a mobile game company. Like kind of. I work at a mobile game company. I can influence people's thoughts and ideas, but why? What do you? I got ideas. I got so many ideas. Like, oh, cool. Yeah, you're one of these guys. You know what I have? More ideas than you. Like, not saying I'm better than you. I'm not saying like they're good ideas or they're better ideas. Like, I'm not winning the more ideas competition. I'm saying I already have.
I'm winning that.
I already have too. Like, I'm already sick in my head over here. Like with ideas, I have. So many things.
How long is this show?
We're just at a half hour now.
Okay.
we only we're doing 3 minutes there until the phone rang.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
okay,
yeah, no, that was
just feels longer.
we didn't do a whole first half of the show and then stop. We did 3 minutes. We stopped. This is not the second half of the show. This is still the middle. And yeah, so I mean, like, there's so many of these people that of every age. Like the younger ones, I'm usually like, oh yeah, I know you got ideas. You've got 4 ideas. You think it's like a million, but it's 4. Calm down. I've been where you are, and I thought once I got those out of the way or realized they were stupid, oh my God, sit still for 9 minutes. You'll have 100 ideas. Like that's just what you do. I don't know. Again, maybe you don't seem to do that as often as I do, so maybe I do have some weird brain disease where it's just like my brain wanders and what if this was a thing? But at the office, we do often every like 10th one of those that I blurt out, we will actually write it down like, oh, I might actually make this. This isn't a lot of work. It's funny and whatever. I can actually just make it. It may or may not make some money. Who cares? Like it's not a bunch of extra effort to write this down and then never get to it. Maybe I will. I don't know. I've got a lot of those. But yeah, so it's like we have an abundance of ideas. A lot of people do. It's the doing them. Can you do an idea? Come on aboard. Do you want to fart out An idea I had, yeah, nobody does. Like, and I guess that's the other thing too. Is like,
Can't do an idea.
neither can I. Neither can I.
Oh,
But I
we need to
mean,
go back to the days of conceptual art.
this podcast is an idea when we do that, and it's still kind of an idea that you just sit in your head and let
Take
bounce
this
around.
idea, and shove it.
If any of the weird things we've said have led to an art project of some kind or a podcast, tell us about it. Have us on that podcast. Or, I don't know, whatever.
For this next anniversary year, we will do your show. We will be interviewed by you.
Let's see what Don has to say about that.
Dun dun!
You're listening to No Such Thing as Grown-Ups. Your mother must be so proud.
So, we're back, and I picked up another hitchhiker on the way home from work today.
Oh my God.
It's a long, lonely drive from work to home.
Wow, after watching that show, The Hitchhiker from the 80s,
If you don't do it, then bad things happen to you.
you're screwed.
I think that's what was in my head. I don't know why I did it this time, because, I mean, he didn't look like... he didn't...
I want the story to be
On the murder scale,
sort of scary.
he looked to be at least over a 5.
Too much of a rush all the time. Always in a rush to get home. Little did he know
I don't want any little...
that someday
I don't want a little did I know nothing.
he would never have to be in a rush again.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to end up in a...
The Hitchhiker. Starring for one episode. What was that guy's name?
I don't know.
Paige Lancaster.
Patricia Johnson. Patricia spelled the man way, which nobody knew was possible.
That was Peyton.
Robin Peyton.
Peyton something, I think.
I don't think it was Peyton. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Something weird like that, but I don't know if it was all the way Peyton.
It was only in the first pilot episode, and
Then you were
switched it
angry.
for someone else.
I picked up another hitchhiker, and once again, another guy just trying to get back home. Lives out by where I do, like way out in the woods, just down the road there, I guess.
Don't pick up hitchhikers, though.
I don't want to. I really, really don't want to pick up hitchhikers, but you always do it. So I'm like, oh, if you're going to do it, I can't be the only one who's like, look at that guy. Clearly, he's not going to murder anybody.
I'm a good judge of people, though.
It's
First,
cold.
you give them the eyes. You look at them, squint your eyes at them, look them up and down.
He seemed pretty harmless.
All right.
But I don't know. He also said he was like a cook. So those guys are usually killers. So they can have
Cannibals.
knives around. Oh, I didn't even think about that part. Anyway, we got to talking about how, it's nice
He
here
wanted to tell you a scary story.
in the small town. And he told me the scary story. He said his friends tricked him. Actually, no, I think we both kind of just made that joke of being tricked and going to the Keg steakhouse and I don't know, whatever it is, tavern, I don't know, fine dining restaurant. Just a place that serves steak and baked potatoes. Not something that needs to be the most expensive meal in the world, but it is, or at least
No Ponderosa.
it's the most expensive meal I've ever had, and I spend most of my life avoiding ever spending that kind of money on a meal again. And this was a long time ago. So, and I think it was when I had money too. So it was like, I can actually afford this, and I definitely still should not and can't afford this. So everybody at this table here is stupid, because I'm pretty sure only one of us here
You
can
couldn't even just get an
really
appetizer?
afford this. Everything was still like $20, like $19 to start, and it's like, I'm gonna get a glass of pop. Okay, that'll be $8. Like, what is happening here? How much tax are you adding? What are you doing? So expensive. So he said he went there once, and he was like, well, he's like, I might as well get something great, right? I'm not coming back. I'm like, I'm never coming back here. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's not like you're going to come back and try something else. So, yeah, why not? Why not go for the craziest thing? I mean, hopefully you'd never spend this kind of money on a meal again. You just learned a lesson. I learned a lesson. Nobody else learns lessons, but whatever. We're both on the same page here. what? So then he says what he ordered, and so he's like, so I get some flem dion, flem dion. Realizes that he's not saying it right, and then he's like, but he has no idea what he's supposed to say. Anyway, he's like, what I'm talking about, like the really, really good stuff, like yeah. For some reason, the last thing I ever wanted to do, as much as I didn't think he was going to murder me, if I don't know you at all, like at all, and we're trapped in a little box.
Don't ever make fun of a hitchhiker.
Well, not going to make fun, but definitely don't make fun. But I'm definitely not going to correct you on something. Maybe that's your trap. You go around and like one of those weird Rob Zombie psychopaths. Like, I just say this one word wrong.
That's the trap, though, that you never.
And then I didn't,
him.
and now he's looking at me from outside the window and from the darkness, staring. Yeah, I followed you through the woods with Jason Voorhees like speed.
I'm glad we're on the second floor, because otherwise I would make you shut that window right now.
Oh yeah,
shut the curtain. I mean.
So yeah, he ordered some flem dions, and that's at the Keg, by the way. The most fanciest, expensive thing on the menu.
Fancy.
Flem dions. Not to be confused with Celine
And then he
Dion's.
slit your throat and buried your body in a shallow grave of leaves in the woods.
There's no such thing as a ghost cast. Ooh. I'm dead.
Halloween's probably around now.
Halloween's probably, right around the corner. I know that when I went
What
to
are you going to be for Halloween?
I don't want to. Whatever you were when you wore this green sweater is your Halloween costume, and then give it to me as my new green sweater.
You're going to be
Frankie
from Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends?
Yeah, except without the hair. Frankie's older brother that she, in a flashback episode, got the green sweater from, who looks just like me.
Oh, yeah, you were supposed to be Max, but then you didn't.
I was supposed to be Max.
Yeah, I was going to be Frankie, and then you were going to be...
No, I didn't even work there. You were going to your work.
Yeah, I
in
know,
a
but then we
costume.
were going to dress as that for Halloween.
For hanging out around the house? Like creeps?
No, we were going to go in the woods and then...
And then be in costume in the woods?
Scare people.
Dressed as children's cartoon characters?
There's a curfew. 8 o'clock.
There better be a curfew. I want to... Now that I'm a cranky old man, I want to jack back down to 7:30. I was reading all over the internet
We only gave out
today.
like one friggin' treat last year. 2 kids came. That's it.
Yeah, or that was the year before. Last year, somebody just popped a bag of chips on the step.
Oh, fuck.
It scared us. The end. Disappeared into the darkness. Thanks, jerkasses. Yeah, everybody on the internet was reporting that Saturday morning cartoons don't exist anymore. They were canceled, which...
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's the end of Saturday morning cartoons.
What do you mean?
There's not going to be...
There's entire cartoon channels now. Like there's always...
Yeah, you have to go to those channels, but there's not going to be like Saturday morning cartoons. Here they all are.
Somebody will still have it.
Nope.
CBC still will pipe it out as
Not
that.
happening anymore.
It's never
Nobody's
going.
watching it. No, everyone's sleeping
Hey,
in.
remember
watching their TV, their channels, like you said, with all their cartoons on it whenever they want. So no, we're not going to do it anymore. We're gonna put the news Saturday mornings. How do you like that, kiddies?
We already got a news channel. We already have a news channel for all that.
Damn it!
Ding dong doom.
Fine.
Hey, it's us, NCB. Haven't you always wanted to go back to a channel like the old days? You know, when the cartoons were on in the morning, news was on in the afternoon, and then your shows and soap operas and whatever. We do that still over here at whatever I said this channel was. You're already watching it, so eat a dick. There's always, remember all of the things that went away? No. Or, well, yes, you do, because they didn't go away. You forgot that they were supposed to go away. Everything is still.
It's still on that channel. What channel is
McDonald's and KFC.
What number channel
remember how
is it?
we can't eat McDonald's and KFC? It will kill us. It's deadly poison. Remember how it's gone forever? Nope. Candy bars.
It's on this
Sour
channel?
Patch Kids for children.
Wow. Wow.
Vicks Vapo Rub, cough syrups,
Oh, I like it.
Oxycontins,
Tylenol for
Guns.
children, babies.
having, I don't know, illegal kids.
Sleeping
Outside of the-
medication for babies.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Love it.
Drunk driving. Remember how drunk driving?
We don't have to wear seatbelts?
We don't have to wear seatbelts anymore, and the cars drive themselves.
Love it.
Everything still keeps going because even in the future where all the cars drive themselves, there's still going to be a lot of people that are like, you know what I love? My car that I drive myself as well. I'm going to keep one of those. And then, just like in every future movie where
Okay, Sylvester Stallone.
we got to get through the town. What are we going to do? We're going to go to the
I
museum.
was going to take it over yourself.
We're
That's
gonna
how car
steal a
accidents
GTO.
happen.
We're going to steal a GTO.
Next, you're going to just want to do your own fracking, I suppose.
Speaking of doing my own fracking, I don't even want to talk about that anymore.
Oh.
We'll do it later.
Are you sad that there's not going to be cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons?
Oh no, I don't care. Like I already forgot we were even talking about that. The whole thing about that is it's kind of funny because I'm half tempted to go. There's still Saturday morning cartoons on somewhere, because there are so many channels that are just like this is where the cartoons are. That's why we can have also like a comedy channel or whatever channel where it's like, hey, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is on at 9 a.m. because you're an adult without kids around, so you can just get up and watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia instead of having to watch nothing but whatever CBC Funhouse for kids or whatever. Like, there's such an ability to choose, but even more so, hey, there's also just the computer. And everything's like on there by channel as well, and you can just go to that channel's website and whatever. So yeah, no family should ever
So you
have
don't
to be in
care.
the same room as each other at any point in time. Anyway,
But kids won't get to experience it.
but but they're not
But
trying
they have to get up on Saturday mornings and say, cartoons, yay!
Well, what's funny, I think kids are more
Cartoons, yay!
adept at getting up with their apps and making stuff anyway or playing games. Like, they're all a little more interactive or making their own shows. I mean, these Nickelodeon kids are out of control with just like talent, and that's just coming from all the kids that are just like, hey, I'm just going to keep making videos. I'm going to keep doing this stuff until Nickelodeon comes and buys my parents and owns me for the rest of my life and turns me into a superstar. And I'm sure it all works out and nobody ends up with any horrible coke problems or
Shaved heads.
abused children, babies having babies, heroin needles,
Those
razor
heroin needles
blades,
should not be having babies.
baseball bat fights, running people over.
I'm scared.
Miley Cyrus's best.
Ah!
I saw at the grocery store today, cover of the magazine that said, Miley Cyrus, why did she hit rock bottom? And it shows a picture of her looking happy and fine.
Right.
Her top is off.
Oh, no.
They got a black bar across it, but in a
Yes.
way where you can still see that she's got like still something covering her nipples. So it looks like she's probably at like a Mardi Gras parade where everybody's doing that. And she's like, looks like she's having a great time. And yet, I don't know, anytime somebody who's rich enough to go to a party in the middle of the day does, the tabloids have to say, oh no.
Where are these parties in the middle of the day?
In Mardi Gras
Oh.
areas, the States. Wherever the poorest, most decimated town is, there's the biggest party.
In the middle.
I didn't want to talk about that. I wanted to talk about domestic violence. Just for a second.
Don't tell them that I beat you.
Seems to be pretty popular in the news to be talking about these football guys that are beating the piss out of their wives or girlfriends or strangers. And on Tumbledore, this person, I don't know, I assumed it was a girl, I don't remember what the name was, she posted this post that she put together these images, and it showed like 2 or 3 big, giant, scary black football player guys that I assume very recently beat their wives. And on the other side, it showed like Mel Gibson, Nicolas Cage, Charlie Sheen, all those guys that, you know, then there was also a list of like every male celebrity basically in Hollywood, and a list of how many people they've beaten or whatever. So her post,
Okay.
she took the time to put this together. This was her art project, was to ask the question, why are these guys the face of domestic violence when these guys, like did it first, basically, like, because, what, and I don't know, I was just like,
They're all the faces of domestic
yeah,
violence.
what I hate about Tumblr is that I can't
we
write a
don't
comment.
have to,
I can only
they don't have to be
reblog.
separate.
I guess I could reblog and then write something on my Tumblr about that thing.
Yeah.
That's how Tumblr works. I'll start doing that. I've been so angry at Tumblr for so long. That's what I'll do. So I'm sitting there thinking that, like, hey, yeah, these are all the faces of domestic violence. I mean, thanks for pointing it out, but you did it in a way that's kind of weird.
We don't have to choose.
Yeah, you don't have to choose. Like the reason, the answer to your question is these guys on this side are, one, even after they beat you, still aren't really that scary. I mean, a Nicolas Cage is kind of unnerving and weird, but you're not like, hey, I'm super scared of Nicolas Cage. Everybody kind of secretly wants to have a reason to fight Nicolas Cage, I think, like men and women. Oh, I'm definitely afraid of him, but I'm not like, yeah, he definitely is going to beat a woman again. I'm like, he seems like the kind of guy that would have learned his lesson. And even Mel Gibson, like all of these people, even after this, what they do after they beat a woman is usually star in or make some sort of movie that makes them pretty endearing in spite of their faults. Like that's what their job is, to have a fault, whether it's actually theirs or not, and then you love them in spite of it. That's what every movie is about. Sorry to ruin all movies for everybody, but that's what it is.
All movies
I ruined
for me.
That's what I do.
Forever.
So immediately after you find out these people are just abusive, horrible people, like, I mean, remember, does anybody even think about how, like, Robert Downey Jr. used to be, like, the most hated guy in the world?
The most handsomest.
He was still the most handsomest, but he was, like, the worst. Like, people talked about him
the coolest,
worse
don't you mean?
than how they talked about Charlie Sheen, the other coolest guy in the world. And now
I was always behind him.
He's the greatest guy.
Always. When he was in jail, I didn't care.
I'm pretty sure he was in jail some of those times for beating women.
No, Robert Downey Jr., no way.
Everyone in Hollywood, you don't star in a movie unless you've beaten a woman. That's how I know you're a star.
That's how you get in.
That's how I know you've beaten a woman. That's how you get in. You got to punch your way through that door, and that door is a woman's face.
So it all makes sense.
Knock, knock, your wife is down. Hello, I'm here to be in your movie, Mr. Spielberg.
Oh my
That's how
gosh.
Hollywood works. So, and I mean, and then on the other side, these other guys, the football players, like, well, one, everyone's afraid of black people. That's just a fact that every internet video can easily show you. And two, they're football players. They don't have an endearing job. Their job is, hey, what'd you do? I beat my wife. Then what? Then I beat 9 other guys on a field, and I got paid millions of dollars, or hundreds of thousands of dollars, even thousands of dollars. I don't get paid thousands of dollars to
So
hit
what's your
anybody.
point? This girl is crazy?
That it's really what you should, you shouldn't be saying why these guys instead of those guys. It is just that. It's like, hey, by the way, everybody, you just right, domestic violence isn't cool, and keep posting these guys' photos. Like, basically, if you know somebody's beating a woman, always say, oh, hi, Jeff, still beating women? Because that's what Jeff needs to hear until he stops thinking it's okay to beat women.
Jeff needs help.
Maybe he does.
Jeff was beaten by his woman.
Hey, Jeff, you still beating women? Why?
Because he was beaten by a woman.
Were you ever beaten by a woman, Jeff? And then maybe a dialogue opens. Maybe we help out Jeff.
Maybe his father beat his mother.
Maybe.
Way worse.
Exactly. Maybe he beats his son, Craig, so much worse that he's murdered women already. We don't even know about it.
No, he's better. He's like...
Craig is better? Jeff is better.
Who's the father?
Jeff.
Who's Craig?
Craig is Jeff's son. You're talking about Jeff's father?
Who's Jeff's father?
Jeff's father is not the doctor his mother was.
No. So Jeff is a better father
Than his father.
than his father was
Steven.
to him. He doesn't beat Craig as much. He's like, if I beat you like my father beat you, you would have something to cry about.
But yet somehow Craig turned out worse. He turned to murder instead of just beating women.
Well, everyone's going to have to live with that. Jeff and his mother, doctor, lawyer.
It's a lot of things too.
His father's a doctor too.
I guess that comes back
But
around.
he still beat his mother even though she was a doctor.
Yeah.
Beat her bad.
I think, I don't know, she had quite the list
But
of...
Jeff improved, so is that okay?
No.
No beating is okay. That's the only answer. That's the only answer.
No, but I mean, if he was beating a lot less, though, like a lot less is, like, way better. That's an improvement.
That's an improvement.
I mean, no, you just said.
Oh, you tricked me again.
This is how we teach. This is how you learn. Sometimes you have to be tricked
Sometimes you
into
have
learning.
to beat the learning in too.
And that's true. False. You failed again.
Damn
you have
it.
to know.
I was
never beat anybody
sure
for any reason.
that was a way to
There
learn.
is no good reason to hit a dog in the face, even though he's begging for it.
What if he punches your
I wasn't even talking about that. I was
fist
saying
with
that
his
I was saying
face?
that I was going to punch him in the face right now.
But what if he punches your fist?
If he,
with
like
his
he
face?
always does, runs full bore into your knee or fist,
with
or
his face,
the side of your leg, knocking you over completely, like he does sometimes,
like he full on.
that is his own business.
Like-
He's got. Listen, anything with a tail.
Yeah.
Here are my rules. All right, I've only got a few rules in my life. One, everything I learned is from Jurassic Park or Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if you got a tail, you're on your own. You have extra control. If you're coming at me at 1,000 miles an hour, I know that tail should help you do something to help you maneuver better than me. Somehow, I also think that maybe because we're stupid humans and we ruin everything, I think that we've ruined the dog's ability to use its tail like a cat or other animals do, and it's just a useless little decoration back there.
It wags.
It wags.
It's happy.
We cut it too short. Can't even keep flies off him. It's the worst. The dog truly is the abused woman
Oh, in this scenario,
of every scenario, of most scenarios.
poor thing.
Who do you think abused women take out their violence on? That's right. That dog right there. Burke specifically. I rent him out to abused women. He's so tough. He's so tough. Look how tough he is.
He is pretty tough.
He doesn't even look abused, and yet he is. That's how tough he is.
Wow.
That's how you pick. Not going
Doesn't look
there.
abused at all.
The other thing on the internet, I'm going to pretend it was the same girl that posted it.
That dumb bitch.
She was so crazy. She wrote, why is Danny Elfman doing the soundtrack to 50 Shades of Grey? And I read it as like I don't know, there was might have been a little image to go with it, or like a sketch that she did. But whatever it was, it made me think that it wasn't because like he's belittling himself. Like, who is this Danny Elfman guy? You know, it's going to be all. And then she wrote out, did I write this part down? No, I didn't. It was too creepy and weird. She wrote out like lyrics kind of from the book, like from the story, as if Danny Elfman was going to turn it into a musical. Like I think what she was mad at is if it was Nathan Lane and the cast of The Lion King, like if they were doing the soundtrack to 50 Shades of Grey, and they're going to ruin your sexy, sexy book by singing all the words, because that's what, like, Danny Elfman never does that. Like, do you just know that he does soundtracks, or you only know him from the Nightmare Before Christmas? Because
This 50 Shades of Grey is going to sound like the Batman soundtrack.
yeah, like it's it. Like that was like it seems to me she was referencing. Like she should have been referencing that. Yeah, instead she was just doing Nightmare Before Christmas, because it's like again, hey internet, the answer to the question, why is Danny Elfman doing the soundtrack to this movie? Danny Elfman does the soundtracks to movies.
To every movie.
That's what he does. If you're watching a movie, Danny Elfman was in the room when the music for that was being made. Like, I think he's everywhere. I don't even know if he's still alive.
In that room
I think
where they make the music for every movie.
Yeah. He lives at Skywalker Sound, and he visits other studios all the time. And that's just what he does. And also, who cares? It's 50 Shades of Grey.
Everyone cares.
Why does everyone I thought like
Yes.
I thought the novelty or whatever, the shock and awe of that, because I mean,
Wieners.
is there even going to be wieners in it? I don't
Wieners.
think there's going to be wieners. I don't think there's going to be anything.
Wieners.
There's probably going to be a few
There'll be
wiener
bums.
flashes. It'll probably
Bum crack.
There'll be
Bum cheek.
no more graphic.
Two cheeks.
It'll be just True Blood without as much blood.
What?
More
Oh, bum
handcuffs.
cheeks.
Lots of bum cheeks,
Lots of
probably.
bum cheeks.
But I mean, it's so strange that it's like this is a huge thing when it's like it's just every piece of fan fiction out there is an unreadable, just weird, erotic whips and chains adventure. Like that's I'm pretty sure.
But this one is in a bookstore.
Yeah, I made it to the bookstore. You're right. Not just the e-book store of the Apple Motron. But I don't know. I really thought that that whole thing was just gonna die out completely. Like nobody really cared to see a movie of that. Like, you know, the big deal about it was how stupid it was.
No, nobody really cared to read that book. Everybody's just waiting for the movie because like I can't.
Now I
fucking
can find
sit
out how
through
bad it is.
This
I'm not
piece
gonna
of
read
shit.
4 books.
I
to get to nothing.
started to read it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! That it's just horribly written.
That's all I've ever heard. Every review so far I've heard from everybody was I tried to read it. I couldn't. It was just not readable. Like words weren't used properly for one, like even in that instance. But also it was just terrible.
Yeah.
Just terrible. Like very fifth,
So everybody's
fifth
waiting.
grade or something.
And if Danny Elfman ruins friggin' the soundtrack to it, I don't even know what I'm gonna do.
I'm afraid that he's going to lend credibility to it. He's going to make it sound beautiful, and you're going to be like, I loved that. Like, there's so many movies that I think I love, and then I go back and watch them and really listen to what the movie's about and realize, oh man, this movie just had an awesome soundtrack. Like
Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic. Keep thinking, what a great movie, but it's like, no, I'm just skipping to the songs and singing along. That's all I do when I watch Titanic.
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, terrible movie.
You're skipping ahead to the songs.
Skipping to the wonderful songs. Spin around under the sea and kiss the girl. Sometimes I'm so glad when I look at the time and the show's already almost over because there's literally dog.
Sometimes you're so glad for this show to be over.
The same way I'm talking into a microphone and holding it to my face, I feel like the dog is grabbing my hand and pulling it towards his face to talk into like it's a microphone, but instead he's biting my fingers.
Yes.
And I don't know why he likes that.
You're going to have to threaten to send him to Satan.
Do you want to go worship Satan? You'll have to go worship Satan. Praise Jesus. Good boy. So that's his new thing that Tara just taught him 9 minutes before we started the show is don't make us send you in the other room to worship Satan. And he behaves. And then he enjoys praising Jesus. He's kind of a Jesus-loving dog. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Some dogs and people like Jesus. I mean, if they all get to go to heaven, then why not praise it? I don't know what all the answers are, so I get to have a little fun with it. But you know, he definitely doesn't want to worship Satan in the other room.
No,
it's mostly the other room part. He's never heard of Satan before, but he is very well behaved right now for Jesus. Mostly for the other room. He almost never has to go in the other room. I don't even know if he knows what that is. He's so busy praising Jesus. If you'd like to praise Jesus in your own way through comments, go to iTunes and leave a Jesus-ly comment for the show, and we'll send you some sort of handmade real artwork from my own stupid hands in the mail with some other free crap with our I don't know, stuff and logos on it.
You know what I'm going
signatures.
to put out tomorrow?
What?
I'm going to put out, you could print your own dolls, printable dolls.
So Tara's going to put those on the internet, print them yourself, fold them, take pictures of them, make a little stop motion, send them to us. In case you haven't heard, in case you didn't know, every day is the No Such Thing as Grown Ups Film Festival Day. Whenever we get one of those, we'll share it and love it. Adam, damn it, why? I cannot. I'm not.
God, why do you
the one
hate
thing-
him so
the
much?
one thing
Just because he's our third
I
child.
won't edit out. I'm not good at retaining people's names. I'll remember everything else in life, but I'm sorry, your
It's only
names
because most of our
are going to get
fans'
jimble
names is Adam.
And also, we had so many Adams. Kevin J. Adams Forbes the third. He did, like I requested, finally, a fan that works for you. That he puts the in fan, the fa in
On.
the fandom in fandomonium. I don't know what he did, but he put the audio and audio visual, and he took that clip where
I hear Burke snoring. Yeah.
dog snoring right next to the microphone here,
He's praising Jesus hard.
and the Snooky Stackhouse secret voiceover from the series finale.
You can check that
I made
out.
up from memory. He edited it together and put it on his YouTube that I think he made just for us. You can make your own YouTube just for us, and we will talk about
We will
you.
love it.
And we will love it, and we will share it.
We'll watch the YouTubes over and over again repeatedly
Mm-hmm.
because I have a problem.
Who doesn't have a problem with stuff? Everybody does. Just enjoy it for a minute.
But you can watch that too.
Yeah, so you can watch that.
You can watch lots of videos every Friday for Video Friday
No such thing as grownups.com.
or WordPress.
Or wordpress.com /
But really,
no such
like
thing as
follow
grownups.
anything. Yeah, if you go to the website, you follow something. Burke. I can't believe it. Burke. I'm talking here. The show's not over. It's not time to go to sleep. Burke. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. His eyes are open and he's like pretending to.
Close your eyes when you're
little
sleeping, Burke. That's
fucking-
disgusting. So, I don't know. I feel like this has gotten as boring as Burke says it is. It's enough commercials
I
and
was
ads.
trying to say something.
Trying to just be fun, like give people something fun they can do. You
Right.
want to make some movies or some artwork.
Maybe Andy and Andrew will be out on a funnel bundle someday.
There's a Funnel Bundle. We got an exclusive video over there. More exclusive videos to come.
Every day of the week, we're giving you something to you, back to you, the audience. Mondays. Every Monday, new episode.
Of the show.
Tuesday is
2 new episodes.
2 new
Oh.
episodes for Tuesday. No, don't promise. That's
Oh.
oh my god, it's Cosmic Comic Tuesday. Wednesday is doing something on
Not
the
2
social.
Comic Tuesday?
Then I'd have to put 2 comics.
I know. I'm not saying we'd actually do it.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. Then.
Toonie Comic Tuesday. Comics are only toonie. They're on sale from $0 up to $2.
Really?
You're welcome.
No.
No? Fine.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Free Comic
You can
Tuesday.
buy our other comic for 25% off right now, $5.99.
There you go.
You can get the ebook for $3.99.
What a deal.
And
$30.99?
$39.99.
$30.99? $309?
32 times 2.
Those aren't words anymore.
Thursday is going to be
$3.99.
Throwback Thursday, which you probably have already seen because we're going to give you an episode of the Curtis and Tara Show. Blast from the
Throwback.
past. And then Friday is Video Friday.
Do you think we'll ever make a fake Throwback Thursday? We'll put the intro to Throwback Thursday and then just record a show and just pretend it's I don't know, we'll throw open the computer
Oh.
and see if we can find a random fact generator from like a specific date.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll just do stuff that happened that month in
Whoa.
whatever.
That might happen as well.
2004.
Have you been doing yoga? Stop getting ideas.
I'm always doing yoga. I'm always getting ideas. Look at this pose. I'm doing, this is half
This is
upward
called
dog.
balancing the dog.
I'm balancing a dog on one leg over here while he's passed out on half of my body. The other half of my body's doing his show. You can't do that without yoga. You can't do this on television. Oh, there goes the dog. And that's the end of that show. Oh, he's still asleep, and half of him is now hanging on. Oh, now he's aware. We better get out of here.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go.
Musical intros and outros by Brad Sucks.